Good morning, students. Today I am going to teach a class from class 10th, and the topic name is The Journey. Actually, the story was taken from the unit Human Relations. So mainly the story was written by S. Dorji Tongchi. He was an Assami writer. Okay, then. Mainly in the story, the author, he was a gout officer. To get marriage, he went to his native place. He stayed there for hardly 6 months' time. He married, and now this is the time he needs to go to his workplace. So naturally, as a student, if you stayed on Sunday in your home, will you come back freely to school in the next day? Really, we are not happily to go to school in the next day. Just like that, the author in the story did the same. So what happened here? He went to his native place. Do you know the reason? So to get marriage. So he stayed there nearly 6 months' time in his native place, and while he was coming back to his native place from workplace, he carried a little luggage. So mainly he put everything in his trunk box. Okay, then his house mainly located or situated in hilly terrain. Do you know the meaning of hilly terrain? The house located in hilly area, there you don't see any proper roads. I mean, they don't have motorable roads. So what happened here? He married there, and he married according to his customs of tribal society. I mean, his parents saw a girl, and according to his parents' instruction, he married a girl according to the customs of tribal society. So he stayed there. He felt very happy to stay in his house, and even he extended his leave to stay some more days in his house. But later, what happened? His marriage is increased his responsibilities, because day to day he was under debt. I mean, he borrowed money from others. But his marriage increased his responsibilities. I mean, he needs to pay some money. He needs to invest some money. That's why he needs to go to his workplace. Then only he will get money. Okay. So he was eagerly searching for, he gathered everything in the trunk box, and he is looking for a porter to carry to the bus stop. But that was the rainy season. So naturally, all villagers, they were very busy in the agricultural works. So no one is there to carry his trunk box. So he was eagerly looking for the porter, because he did not carry, he unable to carry the trunk box, because do you know what is the reason? He was a gout officer, and if I carry the luggage on my head, so naturally the people, they will laugh, because the reason is he was a well-educated person, and in the same time he was a gout officer. That's why he is feeling very shy to carry the 20 kg chest on his head. That's why he was looking for the porter, but he was unable to find anyone at that time, because the reason is the people are very busy in the agricultural works. Then, so while he was thinking like that, then immediately his father came, and yes, no need to think like that, because I am here, because I will give you the solution. So what I am going to do, I will carry the trunk box to Dirang. I will carry myself, his father said. But he disagreed his father's opinion, because the reason is the author was the young man, and his father was an old man. So if I inform to my father to carry the trunk box on his head, automatically the people feel shame, and in the same time I feel shame. That's why he disagreed his father's opinion. But what happened? No one is there. There was no option. Okay. When his father said, yes, I will carry the luggage. When he said, he stopped. No, father, I won't allow to carry my trunk box, because you are looking very old. Then finally, the author failed to stop his father to carry the trunk box on his head. Okay. When the author ready to leave his house, so naturally many people gathered there to send off the author. Then that was exactly, what is the time then? That was exactly 10:20, and while the people they are giving send off to the author, before only the author's father already left, which carrying the trunk box on his head. Okay, he was very fast. His father was very fast. So the author tried to catch his father, but his father was too fast to walk. That's why after 3 kilometers, then the author caught his father. But when the author catch his father, the father said, you are too late, my dear son, and this is the time. You are looking some tired, so shall we take a little bit rest here? Then the father said to the son. Both were sitting on the rock, and this time the father was little bit thirsty, so I want to drink something. At that time, actually they carried already some homemade wine. So immediately the author gave a mug of wine to the father, and in a one sip the father drank the wine and gave it back to his son. Then again they started their journey. So here the father carried box on his head, but the son carried a tiny bag which contains a light weight. Okay, and while they were walking, they were not talking to each other, because the father moved too fast and the son moves slowly. Because if someone observed the situation, automatically they thought that they are completely strangers, because the reason is both are maintaining a distance between father and son. And in this time the son wanted to carry the trunk box, but again he felt guilty, because the reason is he was a well educated person and he had a white collar job. That's why he felt shame, because naturally so many students they are studying in cities, so naturally they would like to carry some material from his native place to cities. Sometimes they need to carry rice bags, and sometimes they need to carry some heavy luggage. But they are unable to hold the heavy weight on their head, because the reason is they were well educated people, and if I carry the heavy luggage on my head, automatically someone will laugh. That's why they want to carry such things on their heads. And in the same time, the author also well educated person, in the same time he was doing a white collar job, and in the same time his father gave him a good education, and in the same time in his native village the people feel very proud about the author as well as the author's father, because the reason is they are good people. The author got a degree, and now he was doing a job in the city. But this time, the father used to carry such luggages in his native place. Of course, many parents from villages, naturally, every day they do such agricultural works. Naturally, they don't feel unhappy to carry such luggage, because the reason is every day they need to carry something from home to field, from field to home. This was very common to the agricultural background families. That's why this was very common to his father on his head. Okay, then, and compare with the author, the father was much stronger, as well as he was a skilled person. And basically the author, from his childhood, he lived in the hostel. So naturally, he doesn't have such experience to carry such heavy loads on his head. Okay, now the journey again started, and they sat at two places to take rest, and at one place they finished even their tiffin also. Finally, they reached to Dirang, and when they reached to Dirang, and they noticed that a bus from Tawang was not reached to Dirang, so they have a very little bit time to talk to each other. That's why they went to have a cup of tea. That's why they went to a tea shop. This time the father is looking very tired. Okay, and immediately the author ordered 2 cups of tea. While they were taking tea, so immediately the father asked a question to his son. My dear son, really the road was not good. I mean, it contains lot of pebbles on the road. While I was walking from our native place to Dirang, I feel very pain. I mean, my feet getting lot of pain. So, if you have an old pair, please give me, because the road is not good. Then, when the father asked a question to his son, immediately the son looked at his father's foot. When the author looked at his father's feet, so he identified so many cracks on his feet, and almost each and every feet was swollen. I mean, almost it looks like an elephant legs. So immediately he was so pity on his father. Okay, my dear father, so I will give you some money. So what do? Try to buy a new pair of shoes, he said to his father. So immediately he opened his wallet and he counted money. How much balance is there in the wallet? He had almost 40 rupees, and to buy a new pair of shoes, so what is the cost? Just it was rupees 12 in those days. So please take these rupees 12 and you can buy a new pair of shoes. But this time the father opposed to buy new pair of shoes, because no, my dear son, I don't want to waste money. If you have old pair of shoe, I mean whatever the shoe you wear now, please give me. It was enough to me. Then the father said to his son. So immediately the author removed his shoe, he gave to his father, and he had one more pair of shoes in his trunk box. So he took the shoes and he wore it. Finally, the author get into the bus, but this time the father wanted to talk something, but the bus was ready to move. And here the son was sitting in the bus and he sat on the luxurious seat, but the father would like to walk back, or the father would use the same pebble road, and their journey was again started in the opposite direction. So with this, the class was successfully completed. Thank you.